Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a game I was extremely excited about. Well, before it reached overwhelmingly positive ratings and everyone and their mother praised it. I pre-ordered the game when they revealed it, what was it, 7 months ago-ish? But yeah, I was extremely excited. It really seemed like a game for me. It was a French JRPG basically.
I must tell you, it's French. Therefore, it's a JRPG.
That's very true.
Which was very interesting to me because, well, I don't really like French people. Well, French people, quote unquote. Okay, JK, but no memes aside, it seemed like a Persona-esque JRPG with turn-based Yakuza mechanics and an adult cast. Just from the animations, the QTEs, the concepts, the visuals, the game seemed incredible, and boom, I added to my list of I need to play that shit ASAP.
Damn, what is that, bro?
Several months passed, and here we are. I was there on launch day immediately when it unlocked, and let me tell you, it was captivating. Just in the first few hours, I already felt more emotions than in 40 hours of Final Fantasy Rebirth, which I played before it. The prologue itself set the stage so incredibly well that I just can't fathom how they managed to make it that much of a banger. The prologue is easily, and I mean easily, in the top 5 prologues. It made me tear up for characters I only knew for like 20-30 minutes. It was insane. The voice acting was impeccable. The performances were great. It still had AA game charm, like the movement being a little bit clunky and sometimes the facial animations, but good lord, it's just insane. Act 1 started and Gustav and all that other stuff happened, slowly introduced to the gameplay, to the world. It starts off so fucking dark when you reach the white-haired man for the first time and the entire squad gets wiped out basically. Then it slowly unravels. Well, not even slowly. This isn't a 90-hour JRPG, thank fucking god. It's 40 hours that are so well paced you don't even realize it. But, yeah. Act 1 unravels and you get other party members, each one great in their portrayal. Lune I fell in love with at first sight, Asian woman spotted. CL had such a nice charm to her and I really liked her a lot. Mael just shows up randomly in a manner, which surely won't have any story implications whatsoever. Even then, Mael's introduction and character in the first act is great, but then Act 1 ends. It ends unexpected. A random Lamp Master boss victory triggers the end of Act 1, where the big bad, the white-haired man, just rolls up and sends Gustav to the Shadow Realm. When that happened, I legit thought Mael was hallucinating since she had those episodes, but whew, good lord, that was not a hallucination. Gustav goes out in his way, and it's just unfortunate. His VA destroyed it. Gustav was a great character, and I think this was a decent way to go, but I do, however, wish there was more of him. I do think killing off Gustav was a good call, especially since what happens in the story later on, but I think it still happened a little bit too early. To me, I think there should have been another dungeon before the cliffs, where Gustav has a bit more time, and most importantly, where we meet Verso for the first time. Like, for example, we can see Verso save someone of the party members, and get a quick introduction, or at least something, a snippet. So, there's some hope for what happens with Gustav next then. But then this time, when Verso shows up in the ending of the Act 1, it makes a bit more sense instead of,
Who the fuck is this?
The game is not perfect.
I got a Glock in my Rari.
There are a few things like that which do bug me, that they weren't done better. Still, Act 1 was extremely good. Incredible prologue, one of the GOATs. Sad, and a foreshadowing ending of Act 1.
Bob Odenkirk des, Better Call Salto, Breaking Bad no, Bengosh des, Yorushku.
Act 2 starts with Verso, and to me that is fine. It's just the issue is he shows up and now we're like, who the fuck is this? Again, I think him showing up at camp with the arm and stuff was nice, but I think he shouldn't have joined immediately. Should have been a, here you go guys, sorry I couldn't save him, we can go there next. And then he leaves, and then he joins you in the next dungeon per se. Because as it stands, he just immediately joins us with no background checks in the story. I say in the story, but if you do the optional dialogues, which will start the relationships mechanic, they do ask more questions and stuff, but that stuff should have been main story. Anyways, Verso. Verso in Act 2 is cool. Has a cool playstyle with style rankings basically. Is voiced by Ben Starr, which to me anytime he spoke I just sucked live from FF16, one of the goated protagonists. Act 2 slowly unravels with Monoko joining our party as the final party member. And if you know how much I love Heisme and Metaphor, I think you know what I think of him. Monoko is the best character in the game for me easily. Not my favorite when it comes to his combat. I like his combat, but I just didn't love it as much as the other party members. Probably my least favorite playstyle. Still, like Heisme, he's the best character in the game. His introduction made me laugh my ass off, and I just think he's incredible.
Ladies, good eye. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company?
We're heading for old Lumiere.
Okay, bye. This expedition is gloomy. No distractions, son. I'm really busy beating up strangers. I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then. How about a little verso magic to lighten the mood?
You mean the one that hurts like hell?
Yes, I mean the one that hurts like hell.
Monoko! Why the hell did you—
I'm sorry, I fucked up. I just wanted to show off.
Then you reach Old Lumiere, which is a neat area. Then you find a mansion where Alicia shows up, and Renoir, which is where you fight Renoir for real this time, unlike in Act 1 where it was a scripted defeat. You fight him and it's a great fight, man. Then the manor disappears and you get your objective for Act 2, fighting the big and powerful 2 Axons to break the monolith seal. First one for me was the Visages. It was a great area with some side paths and a great boss fight. After that you have the second Axon in Cyrene, which was a great area, but the boss fight, honestly, let me mention this. The bosses in this game are incredible. I think they're probably the best turn-based bosses in any game I played so far. And to that, the Cyrene Dancer boss fight is the first boss I genuinely didn't like. I thought she was kinda dumb. I liked the spectacle, but the fight was just not that great. I even had the anti-charm thing from the get-go, from the first attempt, because I kind of had a feeling it was going to be charm-based. But like, besides that, I just didn't like the fight at all. That being said, once you defeat the second Axon, you get to break the seal to the monolith. The monolith is a great area because it basically goes through mini versions of each area they went through Act 1 and 2. It really caught me off guard, and it genuinely felt like a final area, despite, you know, Act 3. I knew there were 3 acts, so that kind of fucked up the implications. Once you get up there, you fight Renoir for the last time, surely, and it's an amazing fight.
We only need to incapacitate him.
We'll find a way to kill him.
So little for us.
Feel the burn! Doing in.
After you beat him, Painter's time. And holy shit does that fight feel like a final boss. More so than the actual final boss even, in my opinion. So yeah, it really is great. It is tough, don't get me wrong. I got absolutely bodied by her the first several attempts, but I will say that the ripping reality move is absolute dog shit. It looks amazing, but holy shit that move is stupid because of the perspective. Phase 2 also kind of ran like shit to me. It was on like 30 FPS barely, but hey, whatever, it's turn-based, so yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Once you beat her, it's hollow. After everything that went down, it was a victory, but you know, something's off. After the Expedition 33 comes back to Lumiere, they get hit by the biggest plot twist in the game, and the best part of the game in general. Asha blew my mind. The ending of Act 2, Cinema. Everyone was wiped out, and some were forced out. The whole fucking world is a painting. Mal is Alicia. Like, it's so good. She remembers she's a paintress. She tells everyone. She meets with Renoir, and understandably, to me, at least Renoir finally starts being... Oh, wait, no, he's right. So all the stuff he did makes sense now. But Mal or Alicia are just having a shit life and want to stay in here, like the paintress Aline. Verso is dead, but this Verso is a copy. A copy that wants out of here, and that's how bad it is. So yeah, this twist blew my mind so hard and skyrocketed this game into, well, living rent-free in my head. If it hasn't by now, it did. Renoir wants to force Alicia out, Alicia wants to stay, and yeah, conflict. Act 3 starts. Act 3 is extremely short, but that was the Act 2 side stuff, really. There's several side areas like the Reacher, which should have been main story because of the painted Alicia fight, which was Kino. Several other mini dungeons and bosses were beat, and then I got to Lumiere to finish the game, when This Game's Life Will Change started playing. And that section was very nice. All leading up to the ruined Eiffel Tower, and that's where you fight the final boss. In a fight that, to me, is great, but it suffered from something called Lamau Get Bodied syndrome, which is a syndrome I just made up just to drive the fact that the fight turned into a joke. How did it become a joke? Well, like this.
I fucked up. I just wanted to show off.
This will hurt.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that damage, I was like, no, I don't want to one-shot him, man. I don't want this to end. Keep in mind, I wasn't even that over-leveled. At that point, I was at like the 68 to 70 level range, which I assume is a bit higher than intended, but I saw that Charlie was like in the mid-80s when he fought him, and he annihilated him. Though to be honest, this game is just insane with its build variety and how overpowered you can make yourself, in a way to counteract how strong the enemies can be and are. Anyhow, final fight. Once I took 90% of the phase 2's health, I just felt like shit. But it was a great fight. Now, it's not actually the real final fight. We get to the actual final fight. Verso or Mal, depending on which side you choose. Now, it took me a few minutes once I got to that prompt for me to decide. And the game should be proud of that. I really wanted Mal to be happy, but holy shit, I felt so bad for Verso that I just decided, no, I'm sorry Mal, but like, this man is suffering through hell, inheriting a dead person's memories, like, it's painful. I understand CL, Loon, and the others will die. They're living people in a painting, but the grand scheme is they aren't really actually real. It's so tough. What an incredible choice. So yeah, I mean, I chose Verso. I saw the ending and it felt extremely sad but hopeful. And then I watched the Mal ending. My brother in Christ, Ben Starr's performance after being beaten by Mal is Oscar worthy. Holy shit, that was actual pain in his voice.
Please.
I don't want this life. Help me. Help me.
Not to mention the actual ending after that. A life to paint. That's happy for the first few seconds when you see everyone in Gustav, and then boom, it turns hollow. Doesn't feel right. Then you see Verso, he does not want to be there. Mal cheers him on, but yeah, she's becoming the paintress. The same stuff is happening. It's baffling, man. Like, for the first time in a while, there's no outright good ending. Even the bad ending of choosing, bad, quote unquote, ending of choosing Mal is just not bad. Because those were living people, like that was an entire world. The first two acts were, ugh. I love the cast, I love them a lot, but fuck. Yeah, Verso's ending is better, but it's just such a tough choice. Miles is a great character. She went through so much pain, and I can understand her escapism. That's what makes this harder. Like, if it happened IRL, would I do the same thing? Honestly, probably, yeah. But it's a game, so I gotta agree with Versa on this one. This game's gonna live rent-free in my head for the whole year, and a good portion of my life. It might even be up there in my favorite games of all time. Most definitely, like the top 20s at least. I do hope the planned DLC that they will do will be story related and not just gameplay related, like a small sub area or something. I won't Clair scenes because as it stands she's kinda mid and kind of a bitch. Maybe even Expedition Zero DLC, but yeah. Alright, that's the story section. The big bulk of what I had to say. So let's get a bit more into the gameplay and other stuff a tad bit more. Parrying, dodging, radiant dodges, and so much more. This game really made turn-based games into partial rhythm games with its mechanics. Now the thing that I want to mention right off the bat is, does this game have the best turn-based combat? For me, no. Actually, no. However, it gets really close. Maybe objectively, it has the best turn-based combat, but I think subjectively, SMT5V's press turns are just better. And like, here comes a complaint. So, this game is reliant on parries and dodges. When I first started, I was like, oh, that's neat. That's cool. But the thing is, parrying and dodging isn't optional. You get fucking bodied by everyone. You get one-shotted, and it's just not that fun when it happens. And to top it off, the reward for parrying is sometimes a bit too high. I think the parrying and dodging is a godly thing, but I think the game is too reliant on it. It should have been a small thing on the side instead of making it the entire game's mechanic. That's at least how I feel, because later on you get to those 10-hit combos with various timings, and it's just trial and error. So, yeah. To me, the combat is great, but not incredible due to the reliance on the defensive systems. Like, the whole game is 95%, well, actually more, 98% dodge and parry, instead of being just traditional turn-based stuff, which, you know, some people think that's the way to go. I think there should be a middle ground, basically. SMT5V still reigns supreme, so yeah. Besides the defensive side of issues, the combat in general is insanely good due to the Pictos and Lumina and the build variety, along with different weapons being different playstyles and skill trees. Oh, and I really love the AP system. I think the resource management of it was incredibly unique. I don't know which other games have similar systems, but this game nailed it. Not running out of mana, out of combat, needing mana recovery items and that kind of stuff doesn't exist in this game. You just get AP each turn, and with Pictos they have like 10 different ways of getting AP. It's insanely good. Oh, and the item system is really nice. I didn't like it at the start, but I grew accustomed to it, and it's pretty good. Not running out of items, having them be like Estus charges each time you reset a flags. I kind of like that idea at the end. Like, it really is a marvel at how they managed to pull that off. The combat is extremely satisfying and just in general great. Now, do you know what else is great? Not just great. The music. It's honestly top 10 OSTs, if not even top 5. The music in this game is near Souls level, combined with the RGG variety of genres with different composers. It's baffling that Lorien, a nobody before this game, I mean in a good way, made a soundtrack this incredible. It's just insane to me. The amount of variety, the amount of battle themes, holy hell, that alone, when it comes to different battle themes, Metaphor is seething right now. Seething. With only like 5 battle themes compared to dozens, if not hundreds of battle themes in Obscur. So, yeah. Now that the biggest bulk of the game is done, I do want to mention some other stuff the game peaks at before closing out this weird video. Art style and animations. It's insane how they managed to make the combat so smooth with its animations and Persona-esque UI. It looks unique, it looks gritty, but at the same time extremely good. Now let's get the big boy out of the way. This game visually looks incredible. The world design is insanely good. The open world traversal in Act 3 becomes godly. However, the first act's traversal isn't that great, I will admit. Only until you get to swimming does the open world get better to traverse, with much less tedious runbacks to previous areas. And that's actually something I forgot to mention as a negative, I think. The open world needed fast travel, and the levels themselves needed a map of some kind, like a Fog of War type map at the bare minimum, even if it is uncharted territory. Like, it makes sense there is no map, but like, make it a Fog of War, like, you know, explore, make stuff, any kind of map. Back to the world, it looks incredible. The warped Eiffel Tower, the big ass monolith with 33, and if you do the Mal relationship ending, it changes to Papa Go Away, which is also amazing. But yeah, anyways, each area looks just as good as the last one, and it just goes higher and higher and just doesn't stop. Besides that, like I already mentioned, there's a relationship mechanic, which, I mean, I liked it. It just felt like a small little mini social link, and I wish there was a little bit more to do, especially with like the romances. There's CL and Lune, but the romances don't really do anything. They really don't do anything, so I feel like they should have just not even been there. But yeah, at least they're there, I guess. I don't know, it was nice. It was very nice, actually. So, now that we got to this point, finally, would I put this as Game of the Year 2025? Fucking easily. Would I put this in games I played in 2025's top 10? Easily. I think it surpassed IAYB Beast, which I really did not expect, honestly. Only games that can match it are GTA 6, but it got late. Ghost of Yote, Tides of Annihilation, Lost Soul Aside, and the Persona 4 remake, if it ends up coming out this year, which I highly doubt. Likely early 2026. So far of the games I know, I don't think he'll be beaten. Then again, I haven't played Kazan, Key City 2, Oblivion Remaster, and a few others yet. Even still, I don't think they will even touch Clair Obscur's vicinity. This game is one of a kind. I hope that Sandfall's next game is as good, but good lord, it'll be hard undertaking of topping it. This to me feels like Lies of P levels of hard to beat as a debut game, and blows it out of the water. Like, Lies of P was insanely good for our first game. Black Myth Wukong was...
I prefer really not to speak.
And Expedition 33, it's a work of love. It's a masterpiece. Playing through it is an expedition of itself. Expedition of insane emotions, a roller coaster of fun, laughter and pain and misery. One of a kind game that just likely fits into my top 20s, if not top 10 favorite games. I can't believe French people actually made a good game. That's it. More Clair Obscur videos to come, depending on how this video does, but this is something special. Thanks for watching, bye-bye. I needed to wipe off the stain of Strange Journey being, well, dog shit in gameplay wise. So I wanted to revisit, okay, let's go for P5R, the game with the best dungeons, the game with the best gameplay, and so on and so forth.